A voice note leaks online, and suddenly powerful alliances in South Africa shake. One man claims he has the receipts, and the silence from top figures feels louder than the accusations. Today, we unpack Nota's latest explosive claims, the political ripple hitting Mchunu and his wife, and why Mkhwanazi and Khumalo are suddenly scoring quiet victories behind the scenes. It started with a voice recording spreading faster than wildfire, one accusation, one voice, and suddenly names tied to political circles were echoing through timelines. This wasn't gossip, it was a challenge thrown in public. Allegations hit nerves and supporters picked sides instantly. The atmosphere didn't just shift, it cracked open. In politics, when you rise as a unit, you fall as a unit. Mchunu and his wife didn't just face whispers. They faced a digital microscope. Every gesture, every silence, every public appearance analyzed. Their home became a trending battlefield, and silence felt louder than denial. Nota didn't enter quietly. He came swinging with certainty and conviction. He didn't talk like someone speculating, he talked like someone convinced he knew truth. His tone wasn't hesitant. It was explosive, it was calculated, and it demanded attention. Whether hero or chaos agent, he made sure nobody looked away. The controversy didn't stay personal, it spread into political networks. Names connected to names, friendships tied to power, and influence was suddenly on trial. This wasn't just drama, it was a map of alliances, favors, and political loyalty lines. Every circle was under suspicion. And while noise dominated headlines, two names moved ahead quietly, Mkhwanazi and Khumalo. No loud statements, no public shouting, just results stacking quietly. Their momentum didn't come from viral rants, it came from political precision. While storms roared, they advanced. The internet didn't wait for courts or facts. Social media created its own courtroom, quick judgments, emotional verdicts, amplified voices. South Africans didn't debate softly, they picked sides with fire. The online streets became louder than parliament. Truth was fighting against perception, and perception was winning. News outlets circled the scandal, feeding on every new clip, every reaction. But from the accused, stillness. No press tour, no breakdown, no dramatic rebuttal. Silence can be fear, or it can be power. And in this case, silence created more questions than answers. This wasn't just politics, it was marital reputation, family legacy, and public image tied into one storm. Political marriages carry double weight. Attack one partner and the other bleeds too. Supporters demanded answers. Critics demanded confessions. Inside walls we couldn't see, loyalty was being tested at full force. Most scandals burn fast. This one keeps oxygen. Every time silence falls, a new clip, a new quote, or a new tweet reignites the fire. People aren't just watching, they're waiting. Something feels unfinished, like a book with missing pages. And uncertainty is the fuel keeping this fire alive. Twitter threads turned into investigations, TikTok creators became analysts, and Facebook groups drew battle lines. Suddenly, ordinary citizens crowned themselves detectives. Everyone had proof. Everyone had a theory. It wasn't just commentary anymore, it became a digital courtroom where trending hashtags felt like verdicts. Names in politics aren't just titles, they're currency. Once your name enters scandal territory, it sticks in people's minds. Even when truth comes later, emotions come first, and emotions don't forget quickly. The moment your name becomes a headline, you're no longer just a public figure, you're a symbol in a public fight. While online noise grew louder, real power plays were happening where cameras couldn't reach. Meetings behind office doors, private calls, strategic alignments, the kind the public never sees but always feels later. In politics, the loudest battles happen in quiet rooms, with pens, not microphones. Moves were being made silently. Every statement from Nota hit like a strike, abrupt, emotional, heated. He knew shock grabs attention, and attention forces conversation. Whether he was exposing truth or stirring chaos, he controlled the narrative tempo. His voice wasn't calm, it was fire. Some called it bravery, others called it recklessness. But while Nota used noise, the other side used stillness. Not a meltdown, not a denial parade. Just silence, heavy, calculated silence. Sometimes, not reacting becomes the strongest reaction. And that silence created suspense, anger, doubt, and curiosity all at once. People hate what they cannot read. Timing in politics is never coincidence. Allegations drop when stakes are high. Narratives shift when elections loom. Every political calendar has shadows, and this story arrived in a season where small ripples become tidal waves. The timing alone made neutral eyes narrow, and even loyal supporters pause. One accusation can fracture trust. One trending moment can rewrite perception. And trust, once shaken, behaves like glass, cracked and unpredictable. It didn't matter who shouted loudest or who stayed quietest. What mattered was how public confidence shifted and whose image stood firm when screens went dark. While controversy dominated feeds, political winds shifted subtly. Names once overshadowed began rising, doors opened for new alliances, and power maps quietly redrew themselves. Mkhwanazi and Khumalo stood steady, not through noise, but through positioning. The spotlight stayed elsewhere, yet their influence moved forward unchecked. In silence, advantage grew, and those paying attention saw an emerging hierarchy rearranging behind the scenes. This was never just about accusations, voices, or headlines. Beneath public outrage and digital soundbites, a colder game unfolded: strategy against strategy, credibility versus perception, legacy against ambition. The loudest person wasn't necessarily the center of the battle. The real contest was about who walked away stronger when screens dimmed and emotions cooled. In politics, storms expose, silence protects, and shifts in power often happen quietly while the world argues loudly. And now the dust settles, or at least it pretends to. Voices have clashed, reputations have been tested, and alliances have revealed their true strength not in shouting, but in survival. Some tried to win in the spotlight, others won by staying beneath it. Narratives rose, shifted, collapsed, and rebuilt themselves in real time, and through it all, one truth emerged. Public storms may be loud, but real power moves in quiet. This wasn't just noise, it was a reshuffling of influence. A reminder that scandals don't just shake headlines, they rearrange hierarchies. People shouted names, pointed fingers, and demanded answers, but the only thing louder than accusation was unanswered silence. And sometimes, silence isn't avoidance, it's strategy. The story doesn't end here. It simply changes shape, waiting for the next moment to surface, the next voice note to emerge, the next ripple to turn into a wave. If you're watching power in South Africa right now, you're not watching a scandal. You're watching a transition. And the next chapter won't be loud, it'll be strategic. Next episode, we go deeper into why those who speak last often win first, and how quiet political maneuvering built more influence here than outrage ever could.